everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Disney Cruise Line's newest ship, the Disney Treasure. The Disney Treasure is the second ship in the new series that includes the Wish and the foreseeable future new ship, the Destiny. Today, we are going to be doing a full entire ship tour, so if you are going to be going onto the Disney Treasure, we're going to be going and showing you everything on the Treasure. I have plenty of footage from places that are closed and everything else in between and all that fun stuff. So make sure you guys do stick around because we are going to be going deck by deck by deck, starting all the way down to deck number 2, because deck number 1, only thing down there is the medical center and where you get off the ship to tender and everything when you're at ports and everything else. So deck 1, medical and ports and tender and getting on and off the ship. So that's deck 1. But we're going to start all the way from deck 2 and work all the way up to deck 13 and even talk about how it does go up to 14 and 15, and we'll show you everything and go through everything all the way through. So if you haven't done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, leave a like, and let's go explore the newest ship, the Disney Treasure. The only thing I will tell you is this ship unfortunately has 2 sets of elevators, one in the aft and one in the forward. However, there are plenty of elevators between the 2 of them, and only some of the elevators go all the way up to deck 13. So keep that in mind if you're using the elevators. So starting off, deck 2 here in the aft. Now, there are some of your ocean view staterooms, some of your inside rooms, and the entrance for this theater. So we'll get down there. But let's get moving. So if you are going to be, there are rooms available here on deck number 2. But to start with, you will have the Disney's Oceaneer Club, aka the Kids Center. And so you can see we are on the lowest one that you'll probably be on majority of the way through. But as soon as you turn the corner, this whole hallway is the Kids Zone. So the first one here, closest to the aft, is going to be It's a Small World Nursery, and it opens at 8 a.m. through 11 p.m. It is for ages 3 and under, and you have to make reservations before getting onto the ship. So that's a big thing you got to remember, and they will also message you through the app. If there's any questions or anything you may need to know, one of our friends has their baby in the nursery, so we've been able to learn a lot of the stuff that goes on in there, and it's really nice to have that as an option, and you can almost drop them off as you go. What we learned is that this is $10 an hour. So just keep that in mind. This is not part of the cruise fee. To do the Small World Nursery, it is cost a little bit extra. Into the next section, you have Captain Minnie and Friends into the Oceaneer Club. This is going to be your 3-year-olds and up, so your toddlers and up. And what's pretty cool is we did go in here, so hopefully I put that footage in to show you guys what this looks like. And so this is another area where they can go in, they can play, and it's very themed towards Mickey, Friends, and the cruise line, and it's in a very adorable little space. Again, you would check in your kids at the front up here. I'll show you where that check-in point is. Next section that involves into the Oceaneer Club and the youth activities is Frozen. Have not seen this. If I find pictures, I'll put pictures in. If I go in here later for open house, I'll show that as well. But they usually do have like activities, they have games, they have things that go on as well throughout the day. So this is a great space for those little ones, especially if parents want to do anything. And they do have activities as well. And you can see there is an open house. So maybe I'll come back before that, give you all the footage of everything I need to know. But there are so many things. And this will all be in the app as well, but this is just today's stuff. We are now to the midship point, and this is the check-in point for the Oceaneers Club. So if you are going to be coming and your little ones are going to be coming, the fun thing is, if you go from deck 3 down to here, you could take a slide to go to the check-in point. And what there is are little hidden Mickeys right there. What those are going to be able the way that the kids are going to be able to check in. And this is because they do have a magic band to check in because they have reservations to go in here. I cannot remember if this is extra cost. I do not think it is extra cost, but you do have to sign them up, and there is very limited space for it during the entire time. So continuing on, we started down at the aft. We are now to the midship point. We're not going to these stairs yet. We're going to continue going down. And again, if I see pictures or find things or go in to check these out, I'm going to show you guys everything so you guys can see what everything looks like. Now, it's pretty cool. They do have a Star Wars section that the kids could go into and hang out, have activities, there's games they could play and all that stuff. There are Star Wars related activities that you could do within the app and that they do host throughout the day. And then the very last one down here for the Oceaneers Club, the youth clubs, is the Marvel section. So the Marvel section, we actually got to go in here, and this is pretty cool. They do have some sort of games where you tap your band, and because I do have a magic band because of the magic band, the C bands, I was able to play some of the games, do some of the activities, and it's pretty cool because it's something that you can continuously do during the entire time that you're on the ship. And so it's really nice, and I think it's really fun for the kids because it's somewhere they can go. So say if they don't want to go to dinner, or there's something that parents want to do on their own, they could drop off their kids here, and there are things they could do. There are counselors here the entire time. There are cast members, crew members, who will hang out with your kids the entire time. So these are great spaces for those young kids. And you can see there are some more rooms down here. So these left rooms right here, they're going to be ocean rooms. They're going to have a couple of these small portholes. The inside rooms, as I state, are inside and nothing you'll be able to see, but they are the cheapest rooms. But I did find out, it did seem like there are not as many inside rooms on this ship. It seems like there are a lot of verandas. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And I do know down here, I think this is the Walt Disney Theater, but this is where the handicap entrance is. So if you're in a wheelchair, scooter, anything else, or you need it more accessible, right here it is. And you can see now we're at the forward, and there's another sign right here for the Disney Oceaneers Club going down that way. Alright, up to deck number 3. Don't think there's anything else I want to show you guys on this level, so up to deck number 3. Deck number 3. This is going to be the first deck that has no staterooms on it. This is going to be where the majority of your stuff is going to start happening. This is where your parlors, some of your shopping is going to be, and one of your first of your rotational dining locations are at. We're going to start right here at the forward. We're just going to come right on forward here. And right at the very front right here is going to be the Walt Disney Theater. I'm not going to go in there, but you can see it is open right now. It looks like they're practicing some more, probably because tonight is the Disney The Tale of Moana. Disney The Tale of Moana. And I'm super stinking excited to check this out because we watched Beauty and the Beast, fantastic show. The stage theaters on the Disney cruise lines are some of the best shows you can see anywhere, and it's so much fun. They're amazing, they're beautiful, everything else. And then right behind us is Preludes. You can actually get popcorn, drinks, snacks, candy, all sorts of things at this location right here. And if you have a popcorn bucket from the parks, it is cheaper to fill it up here than buying a whole the thing of popcorn. Let's go to the starboard side. And when we think about this, so here's how we're going to look at it. So this right now, so we're going towards the forward, that is front of the ship. This side, port side, left side of the ship. To the right, starboard side, right side of the ship. Hi. These are going to be the different areas. Now, one thing you have to make sure you do when you go walk around, make sure you check out all the different art that there is throughout this ship. There is a lot of art. It's themed heavily towards adventure and Aladdin and everything else. There is another entrance to the Walt Disney Theater. The Walt Disney Theater has 3 levels to it. Down on level 2, or handicap and extra seating. Level 3 for the middle part of the seating, and then when you go up to 4, balcony. We'll get there. And then another Preludes. So if that side Preludes is full, you can come to this side. So now let's continue down onto the starboard side. On the starboard side right here, you have 3 wishes. This is your jewelry. This is your handbags. This is more of your merchandise. This is your, as I call it, the fancy merchandise. This is the merchandise that is going to cost you a pretty penny to buy. Your diamonds, your watches, your Dooney and Burkes, and everything else. So that's what you're going to have in here. And then now, once you get to the middle, here is one of the main new lounges. This is the Skipper Society Lounge. And this is heavily themed towards the Jungle Cruise, the Skipper Society Club, and everything else. And it is so stinking cool. There are so many little things to see. And I'm kind of glad I'm doing this now because I can see it bright up, lit up, and everything else. You can see they've all got sorts of little signs. Oh look, single cell, and the telegrams, all the adventure from the society, and everything else. It's so cool. I also just love they do host a lot of the trivia. They can host activities in here and all that stuff. So this is a great place to come down to. Plus, this is just a place to come sit and just hang out. You can get alcoholic drinks. You can get coffee here and all that stuff. And so I hope if maybe I'm good, I'll try to find all the menus for these locations and put these guys in so you guys know exactly what you can get at these hubs and parlors and everything else, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. So you know what you're getting yourself into when you come onto the Disney Treasure, so you may know what you want to get. So let's take a little look at some of this. Ooh, look at the parrot light. Yep, it's the same on the other side. I completely just missed it. Property of La Rosa. So cool. Headwaters of the Nile, Camp White Nile, and all this stuff. So if you guys see anything you want to stop, just make sure you just pause the video so you guys can see every little detail. And then look, it's like a little roped up. Look, it's the EMS Impress. That's hilarious. And then they do have the little sign. They have a little piece of art right here. Into the Skipper Society. So again, Jungle Cruise. Look, Submarine Lagoon. That's so cool. And then there is signs right there. It says Skipper Society of the Jungle's finest outpost, Jungle Navigation Co. Limited. And then you guys see it is themed with all the jungle stuff. The theming is amazing. This was such a well done parlor and everything else. It is beautiful, it's pretty, there's lots of seating, and what's pretty cool is if you're sitting at the bar, I didn't even tell you this, so at a lot of the bars, there are places you could plug your phone into. Just tells you how much we use our phones while on these cruises because everything's on the app. But I do love this, this is so cool. Sometimes they do have bands playing here, jazzy music. They do games, so you can set up for activities and stuff with the counselors and the crew members and everything else. And so this is such a cool, and I think this is actually made out of wood. Yeah, this was hand carved, I think. This was what they're saying, that this is one of the coolest pieces because it was hand carved. And then more stuff. Look, Jungle Crew News. San Diego Save the Theater, San Diego, Missing Playwright. That's fun. But I do love the little animation for the Skipper Society spot. It's a very cool area with that. So that is the Skipper Society. This is one of the main parlors. We'll get to the main one here in a second, but I want to quickly stop. So if you come to the port side, the left side of the ship, right here is going to be Treasures Untold. Now here's going to be another one of this is going to have some of your basic Disney Treasure merch you can see right in there. But it's also going to have more diamonds, more necklace, more of the Disney merchandise that's related. The other side is a third party. This is going to be your Disney because there is Pandora. You can see right over there, there is Pandora stuff. And you can see there's a bunch of Disney Cruise Line stuff over in the corner. Basic Cruise Line things if you want. And then what's actually been pretty funny is because we are on a preview cruise, the stuff for the 20,000 Leagues area and the Haunted Mansion bar, that stuff is not available for us to buy. So I could not buy any of that stuff, but which is fine because I got to look at it. The only thing I would want is the clock, but I know I can get the clock somewhere else. But you can see, if you're interested in the Dooney & Bourkes, there's the Dooney & Bourkes. And I'll kind of leave that there for a second. As we all know, the Dooney & Bourkes are a very expensive handbag that are through Disney and that are usually extremely popular. They usually have the tiny small handbags, the normal size handbags, to the large bags. Show you guys all of the art because, like I was telling you, there is so much art on this ship that you have to stop and look at every little thing. You can really see it all. And it's all about adventure, and I love it. And don't worry, if you do not have the app or you don't have it pulled up, a lot of times what they could tell you is right here. There are these like screens that'll give you what's happening at each of these locations. This also is telling you when all of these locations are open. Now, the thing about it is they cannot open the shops until we are out at sea into international water. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're at port, all of these shops are going to stay closed until we leave port. So like on the first night when we went to go shopping, we had to wait until we were out far enough and they could open everything up. And also, the treasures one is actually Once Upon a Time and Royal Regalia. So even though it was the diamond shop, you got Once Upon a Time, which is the watch shop, and then more diamonds down at the end. Now, the crown of everything, the biggest thing, is here it is. Here is the Haunted Mansion parlor. As you can see, it is not open right now. From what I've always have told, so the first night that we came on, it was not open until 5. However, we did get to go in, and I'm going to show you all the footage of it. The Haunted Mansion parlor, as I found out from some of the crew and cast on the show, that this is the most fun that the Imagineers have created. It's dark, it's got wallpaper, some of the drawings are amazing. Now, the cool thing about the drawings in this location is that they are very cool, not efficient, and they have sodas that have edible glitter in them, and they actually are very tasty. They have a cola, a cream soda, a grape, and a lemonade version, and these were fantastic. And these are only $5 a piece, and so like we ended up getting we tried the cream soda, the cola, everything else. But while you're in here, a lot happens. They start playing the music, the ghost host speaks to you, the paintings change, there's stuff going on behind the bar, everything else. And so hopefully I've given enough time to show a lot of that footage that I do have from the few times we've been in this parlor. It's the coolest thing. It's so much fun, and I hate the fact that it's not open like right now where I can go in and look. So that is the Haunted Mansion parlor, and this is a great space. Now be mindful, because those sodas do tend to sell out very quickly. And so like by yesterday or the day before, they were telling us that almost all the sodas were sold out, and when we went in on day 4, so the day before on our Tortola day, only sodas left were the grape and the lemonade. So keep that in mind. If you want those, you may have to get here within the first couple days of your cruise to try all of those out. We are going to continue on. So we are on the port side, continuing on down. We will go to the other side. I don't think there's anything on the other side to look at, but we will go over there and look. But once you get past the Skipper Society, past Haunted Mansion Parlor, you now move into almost to midship. But before we get there, we have the Scat Cat Lounge. Now the Scat Cat Lounge, all themed towards the Aristocats. But what's cool about this bar and everything else with this is that there is a piano, and they do play some of the live music and everything else. But this is a very small lounge. Again, some things are held in here, but not as much because of how small. You can see how small the space is. But you can see all the little paw prints related back to the Aristocats. Again, more chargers, more places to plug things into. So if you do have like a computer, your phone, or anything, and you need to work on stuff, it's a great place to come and work on that stuff as well. See the lights change colors. And I do love these, but what's funny is we were talking to someone, and they said they don't understand why they didn't just make these the handles, because to get in you have to pull with that or push down to open it. So continuing on, as we make our way towards the back of the ship, if you're wondering, there are bathrooms everywhere. So there's a men's bathroom right there before you get out here. Now, the Scat Cat Lounge bar does go inside and outside, so you can still come over here and get a drink from the Scat Cat Lounge if you would like, but you can also go inside and sit. And so this is a really cool thing to be able to come and look. But I do look at the little trumpet as the beer tap. That is hilarious. And if you continue down this walkway, so this is the port side, so we walked past Treasures on that side, we walked past the Haunted Mansion Parlor, Skipper Society, Scat Cat Lounge. We're almost to the atrium. We're not going to show that quite yet, because I want to quickly just run over there and make sure nothing else is there. But if you're interested in everything that's going on, they'll show it on these little screens right here, so you can see everything and anything that you may want to see. So again, there's another place for diamonds and everything else here at the Palace Treasures on the starboard side, down from the other jewelry ones. But the biggest thing is we want to turn around, because now we are into the main grand hall atrium space. If you're curious where you enter on the ship, right there. So if you board the ship, you'll board right there and walk right into the Grand Hall. And this is the first view you'll get when you walk into the Grand Hall. And look at this thing. This is the view you'll get as soon as you walk in. It's amazing, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other side here in a second, because I'm getting all the backlight right now, so it's making it hard to see everything. But you see all the stuff going on. Got the colors of the light above. You've got all of the stuff on the ground related back to Aladdin and everything else. The carpet is so clean and so fresh because it's brand new. And what's cool is they do have a cool stage, and on each side there's a peacock. And look, Raj, Jasmine's tiger pet. Because who wouldn't want a tiger pet? And what I do love is on the stage right here, they have this Disney Treasure logo. I love this Disney Treasure logo. It is so cool. And you also can walk up here and just sit on this if you want to for just a little bit if you would like to. Now, let's go to the other side. Let's go to the port side to get a better view of it because of all the backlight I'm getting. So here's a much better view of the Grand Hall atrium space. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up there to I think it's the Hey Hey Cafe. It looks like they are filming. So we'll talk about it, and hopefully I have space to show you guys that. So I'm going to avoid that and / go around so I can avoid it. But you can see here is the Grand Hall space. And what's pretty cool is when you come in, you got space right there where they like to greet and meet. But this is a great space where characters like to meet, they like to greet, and everything else, and all of that stuff and just everything. This is such a cool open space, and like right now where there's no one, it is so lovely just to sit in here. Now, unlike the Wish, nothing happens at midnight with this. Like, there's no special show, there's no like midnight kiss or anything, because that's related back to Cinderella. With this, they have been working on this cool technology where the lamp is supposed to light up, because here's another bronze lamp statue, and we'll get a closer look at Jasmine and Aladdin. But then lights were supposed to trickle up the side all the way up the staircase. I've only seen it happen once, and I've seen them working on it. So, only downside to the preview cruises is that they're still working on it. But here is Jasmine and Aladdin hanging out, seeing a whole new world for everyone to see. And it's really cool. Now, the weird part is someone did mention this. I didn't even think about this. Nowhere on this does it say the Disney Treasure. So every other bronze statue you have, starting from the Magic all the way through to the Treasure, to the Wish, there was somewhere where it would say the Disney whatever it was. There's not on here. But maybe that's a big reason why they put the Disney Treasure sign logo right there, because of that. So this is a great space. It's a wonderful picture opportunity. We've taken many pictures in front of this. It is so beautiful, and this atrium is such a welcoming sight when you walk onto the ship for the first time. For the Oceaneers Club. So if you don't want to go all the way down there, this slide actually does open up. And what they do is they will check you in here. There's another Mickey where they can tap and let you in. Then you can take the slide right on down to the Oceaneers Club. Now we'll continue on, because the only last things are these things right here. But here, past the Grand Hall, before 1923, we'll talk about them in a second, here are things they showcased about working on the Disney Treasure. So like they have the little sign that says Haunted Mansion Parlor, they have a Grand Hall concept, and that little sign that talks about it, where it says, welcoming guests to the whole new world of Disney Treasure are the stars of Disney animated classic Aladdin. The bronze figures of Aladdin, Jasmine, and Magic Carpet are nearly 6 feet high, more than 7 feet across, and weigh close to 1,400 pounds. And that is insane to me how much that weighs. Here's the Grand Hall scale model. It says, motifs, anagrams, and patterns from both the animated and live-action version of Aladdin, as well as artwork from storybook based on the animated film, provide the inspiration for carpets, walls covering, railing design, and central light fixtures in the Grand Hall. So they really took a long time to work on this and really see how everything works. So you can see all the concepts and everything else. And then if you're interested, this is what the stateroom numbers look like as well. So like you can see that there are different numbers, and the design is pretty interesting, especially all of those. And look, there's Raj again. Then you got some other pieces from some of the other areas they've worked on, like the Nautilus bar down up on deck 5, and Sarabi, which is the best place, and we'll get to that here in a second, because Sarabi is a beautiful location. Here are more concepts and work they did. So the overall design and construction of the Disney Channel was managed by Walt Disney Imagineering team. The ship was built at Meyer Werft in Papenburg, Germany, with the assistance of more than 825 vendors, fabrication specialists, installers from 27 countries around the world. Items on display in the case of highlight development of the ship's exterior. So you have the AquaMouse, which is designed for the AquaMouse. Some of the concept art for the mouse. You got the concept sculpture for Hook for the rear of the ship on the aft. And then see, you got more of the classic like drawings and everything they've got. And then more drawings down here. What I do love is the different levels they've got, where they created everything, including all of the staterooms, the different spaces that are on the ship and everything. And you can see the balsa wood ship model, as he did in the Disney Wish. Walt Disney Imagineering portfolio project manager executive Philip Ginott built a model of the Disney Treasure from scratch. This one was built deck by deck rather than a block by block version on the Disney Wish. Incorporated elements of the general arrangement, the layout of space for the ship. At the time, he also built the lower deck in detail down to the main engines and liquid nitrogen gas tanks, which he probably points out exactly to scale. So this is extremely cool, because if you watch building the Disney Wish, this is what the Imagineer, the project management executive Philip built, but last time he did it block by block. This time he did it deck by deck, and this is so cool because like he talked about how everything is down to the detail, stateroom numbers, the space, everything else, and like I said, the liquid nitrogen tanks, which he has down to the scale. So this is really cool to come over and check all that out. And then you have the stern character concept. Scale mock-up of Peter Pan and Captain Hook, who do battle with paint on the stern of Disney Treasure. Hook emerges from a portal, is a little over 8 feet high, weighs more than 2,000 pounds, and Pan is more than 9 feet tall, weighs in close to 1,050 pounds, and wears a size shoe of 36.5. And you can see right here, and you got Peter Pan, Captain Hook battling it away. And then you've got the horn, the Mickey horn at the very top, and this is a brand new horn design that actually plays more stuff now than it has in the past. And here's your Peter Pan concept where he's battling Hook with paint. And then the keel coin, Start of Steel cutting, Disney Treasure, Papenburg on the 19th of January 2023, and the keel coin. The keel laying is a maritime tradition that involves placing a coin under the keel of the ship to celebrate the ceremonial beginning of a ship's construction. The keel coin for the Disney Treasure was laid on March 30th, 2023, and featured the ship hull number 718 on the side and voyage mini from the bow of the ship on the other. As you can see right there, 718. That is the project number. And then there's the little mini Disney flag. So make sure you check all this stuff out. This is really cool stuff to look at. It's on both support and server side right before 1923. And then the last thing here on deck 3 before we move up to the next level is 1923. This is one of the rotational dining locations, and both of these are themed towards Roy and Walt Disney. Now what's pretty cool is in each of these there are little things, pictures and statues and stuff related back to Walt and Roy Disney. Now inside of both of these is almost like a museum style where they show concept art, models, everything else. And I'll tell you what, the food in here is amazing. The first night we ate here set the tone for the entire night. It's a beautiful restaurant. You see some of the concept and like some of the stuff from animated series, the art, the movies, the descriptions, and everything else. So you really have to take time to look through everything inside of both of these restaurants. Now this is part of the rotational dining. On the Disney ships, you have rotational dining, which is every night you do go down to a sit-down 3-course meal at one of 3 restaurants. So on this ship, it is going to be 1923, World of Marvel, and Plaza de Coco. And Plaza de Coco is the brand new one for the Treasure ship. But 1923 here is probably my personal favorite because I do love Walt. I love the story from Walt and everything that he's gone on. From his time when he used to travel as well with Mickey to the things he thought of. And I think just thinking about what we have now in these ships and everything else, he would be obsessed with and would love every single bit of it. So 1923, the restaurant here, which is actually where they serve breakfast most of the day, is here on deck number 3. And now we're going to continue on down this hallway. This actually takes you in between both the Walt and Roy side of 1923. And right here, there's this little animated picture. It's not animated right now. Little animated picture of Steamboat Willie, where it all started with one little mouse on a ship, on a river, and now we're standing on a grand ship that can house over 4,000 people, is X number of tons, and everything else. So we are going to continue on. If you're here in the aft, because we are now at the back of the ship, you can find signs. They'll take you to wherever you need to go. So if you want to go to the Grand Hall, shopping, Skipper Society, Walt Disney Theater, that way, or Scat Cat Lounge, Haunted Mansion Parlor to the port side. Let's continue on, because now we are going to be moving up to deck number 4, as we took a long time to just see everything on deck 3. Deck 4 is going to take just as long. Deck number 4, here's where you're going to have the first time of your ship promenade, and another dining rotation, and a couple of movie theaters. So, first off, as soon as you exit out of the elevators facing towards the aft, here's World of Marvel. World of Marvel, again, is another one of the rotational dining locations. In here, they do have a Marvel-themed story that is based around Ant-Man and the Wasp. But what's funny is, it does include Captain Marvel, or Sam the Falcon, who is now Captain Marvel, or Captain America. And even Spider-Man comes out and sees you guys as well. So it's kind of cool for this spot. The food here, not that really great, but the like everything about it is pretty cool. I love the stuff on the outside, like the bronze statues, because like of Iron Man, you have you have Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, you have the Black Panther, and then you have Captain America over here, Spidey, and everything. And look, Ant-Man, tiny Ant-Man. So we are going to go on to the starboard side right here, and there's our multiple entrance, more bathrooms. Looks like they are filming, so I won't be able to show that spot. But here on the starboard side, once you come off the elevators, here's one of your first entrances to the promenade. It was nice to be able to use the promenade to get around and then working on stuff. But right here, as soon as you get off the elevators, is Hook's Barbery. So this is where you can get your stuff if you want to get a haircut, your beard cleaned, anything else. That is going to be right here. If you go to the starboard side, the left side, and I would show you more, but again, it looks like they're kind of being really standoffish with a lot of stuff. So right over here is going to be the Untangled Salon. This is just a, like I said, basic salon where you can go get your hair done and even get like some manicure and pedicures and stuff. Now there is the Senses Spa, which we will go upstairs to and get to that here in a minute. Where they are down right now, where they're filming, is the Hey Hey Cafe. And I will show you the footage I have from the Hey Hey Cafe so you guys can see what that looks like. So you guys can see it is inspired by Moana, as you can tell, because of Hey Hey, and it's a place where you can get coffee, alcohol, and drinks. Again, I will try my best to make sure I have all those stuff for you. So, because they are doing that, I'm not going to go down there. What we're going to do is we're going to go out to the promenade. So the ship promenade, unlike the other ships, this does not go all the way around. This is not a one continuous. So it does start on deck 4, but as you can see, it stops right there. So you cannot go all the way around, because unfortunately this is where the engine space is. So this does go all the way, just go around, and then you can come up and go up to deck 5, where I'll take you up a little bit farther, and we'll go out to that as well. But out here you do have your shuffleboard. Some of the characters like to hang out here. You have your seating spots where you can sit and just watch the ocean goes by. Plus, you're underneath all of the lifeboats that resemble Mickey's shoes. From there, behind where the Untangled Salon is, again, where the salon, the Hook's Barbery, where they could do beards, your hair, anything else for men, this tangle side for the female. We are going to come into this area. Hopefully this opens, because we're now going to have, now be very mindful, a lot of these doors open towards you. So right here, you're going to have guest services right here on deck 4 on the port side, starboard side, port side. This is also where you're going to be, where your port adventures are and everything else. So if you did book a port adventure, or you want to book a port adventure, you can come right here. They're open from 10 a.m. to 12, 7 to 8:30. So be mindful, they're a very limited time frame when you come in. And again, guest service is on deck 4 right here. Deck 4 also is another spot where you can see the Grand Hall. Now, so next to the Hey Hey on the starboard side, port side, starboard side, on that side is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. the place where little girls and little boys can be transformed into their favorite princess or prince. Again, I'm not going to go over there because they are filming. The thing about this ship, it is so new. They're still doing a lot of promotional filming for this ship, because when a new ship does debut, they do make a lot of the new commercials over there. But that is where, if you're looking for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, it's going to be on deck 4 near the Grand Hall midship, right over there. Also, there's plenty of spaces over there to sit and watch, and you can go out there for that promenade as well. Plus, you can see another great view of the Grand Hall atrium space as well. It gives you kind of a good idea. You really see how the carpet is laid out, and I always laugh because how new this ship is. The carpet is so clean and so pretty. It is kind of funny because I forget how new this ship actually is. It had not just been released to Disney less than a month ago, and we are on the first preview sailing on the Disney Treasure, and it's been well worth it. Continue on. And what's really nice is you can actually take stairs, and these little stairs will take you right up from deck 3 to deck 4. But I do love all the carpets. Once again, like I said, you have to stop and look at every little bit of art. Oh, Jafar, one of the most evil villains out there. But we are going to continue on because we are now coming into one of the coolest places, Sarabi. Sarabi is a Lion King themed lounge that they do a lot of the stuff on. This is where they do a lot of their, this is like where we do a lot of the trivia. It's got a full bar, but it's got super interactive features as well. What's pretty cool about this is that they do have cameras that do point down to the stage. So when we get up to deck 5, you'll see why, because this is a 2-level lounge. They do have a full bar as well, but a lot of the trivia that goes on in here. It is a beautiful, beautiful space. Oh, it's kind of open. The door's closed. So the doors are closed. But I do have plenty of footage. So I'm going to show you guys all that footage of Sarabi and everything else that I have. But you can see plenty of seating. And again, there is a second level to this. So most of your trivia, a lot of your activities are going to take place in this one or the Triton Lounge upstairs, because these are kind of designated for being used as trivia, activities, game shows, match your mate. All of that stuff is going to be right here. And again, if you need to know what's happening in Sarabi, right outside of Sarabi, you see, is all the stuff going on. So like Disney Toon Trivias, Family Time Game Show. They do have Family Superstar Karaoke. Heard that? General knowledge. Then you have Club Sarabi, A's Music Trivia, Disney Silent DJ Party. Kind of want to check that out. So if you're interested in what happens at each of these locations, you can actually just step right outside of it, and they usually will have one of these screens showing what's going on. And then, of course, right across the way from it, you're going to have the Wonderland Cinema as well. The Wonderland Cinema, themed as you would think, towards Alice and Wonderland, and inside they'll show you what's going on. So at 12:45 today, they've Inside Out 2. At 3:30, Moana 2, Inside Out 2, and King Planet of the Apes. Moana 2 was originally not on our ship sailing when we first got on the ship. They made an announcement on the second day that they were going to be showing Moana 2 throughout the rest of our sailing, and we've seen it now. And I can tell you what, this is fantastic, but it's so cool. It's a very small space. You can see, I can't go all the way in because I can't show you guys because they don't want them to show you any of this stuff. But you walk in and you see lights, little Cheshire cat, all the stuff from Wonderland and everything else. So, like I said, right inside of there, and it's only about maybe 50 to 60 seats, so it's a very small theater. It's really pretty. You know what I didn't also notice, so I just walked through? Look at the handle. Hilarious. So let's continue on to the mid part right here, because mid part of the ship, right behind Sarabi, get the Sarabi snacks. Now I'll tell you, we have utilized this spot a lot because popcorn, drinks, snacks, sippers, cups, popcorn buckets, all of the above. You can get that all right here at the Sarabi Snacks. But what's great, even better about the Sarabi Snacks, come over to this side, you've got the Neverland Cinema. And again, this is another movie theater featured all around Neverland and Peter Pan. And again, right outside of it, they're going to show you what's going on. You see, Moana 2 starts at 8:30 this morning. And it's family movie fun time, Moana 2, at 8:30. Oh, you saw Tinkerbell? Because I saw Tinkerbell. Look, there's Tinkerbell. Oh, she disappeared again. So again, another one of their theaters. They use this space for their theaters and for little ones if they need their extra seat right there. And these seats are super comfortable, and I love how small they are and how quiet they are. Because some of the cinemas on the other ships are very large. I like having two of them because you kind of give yourselves options about where you could go. They did, however, utilize these spaces for the NFL games that happened over Thanksgiving Day. So it's really cool. They can use these spaces for a lot of things, to show things. So if you come on a ship and there is football, they may show the football those days. Just all depends. And then on the outside of it, of course, they have the Neverland Cinema wall and all the art. This is why I said you got to be mindful of looking at everything, because they didn't have to do this. They could just made this colored wall, but they didn't. They have a light up sign that says Neverland Cinema with Peter Pan, Wendy, and James and Michael flying as they head off to Neverland. And then once you come down the walkway right here past Neverland, here is the Walt Disney Theater, because we are now at the very forward of the ship. So really quickly before we go, we're going to go back to the port side, left side of the ship, looking at it forward. I want to show you the art for the Wonderland Cinema as well. So again, Walt Disney Theater. There is no Preludes here, so you have to go to Sarabi Snacks to get your food. But here's the Wonderland Cinema. And you can see how cool, gorgeous and cool this is. You can see the White Rabbit, because he's run out of time. He's late for a very important date. But I do love it. I love that they took the detail to do this, and I love that it's like this wood look to it. It looks gorgeous. This ship has looked beautiful every step of the way. And now it is time to head from deck 4 to deck 5. What I will tell you is when we do get to deck 6 through 10, I'm not going to stop there. We'll quickly go over 8, what's on 8, so you guys are aware of it. So now we're coming back, hit the elevator, look for the arrow, which arrow comes up, and we'll head on up to deck number 5. Let's go. In fact, these doors close so fast. They give you no time, so be mindful about that. Once the doors open, make your way to the elevator to get on it. Deck number 5, we took the forward one. Now again, this is where you're going to now have, so here to the starboard side, the right side, is Senses Fitness. Senses Fitness is going to be your place where you're going to be able to work out. They have treadmills, they have free weights, they have things like that, all in here. And this opened from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So if you're looking to work out while on vacation, which is something I should have been doing this entire time because of how much food we eat, this place to go. Now if you go to the port side, here is Senses Spa. This is where you're going to have your rainforest room, where you can get massages, work done, everything else. And I hope I have a picture of the Senses Spa, the rainforest room, because the rainforest room on these ships are some of the most gorgeous. And you can hear the music kind of changes a little bit, be more that relaxing stuff. So you'll just come up here, and again, it doesn't open until 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the Rainforest Room, you can buy a one-day pass, but they are very limited in quantity. Same thing with the Rainforest Pass for your entire trip. Very limited in quantity. We've still never done it, and we've always keep saying we want to. But there's so many things to do on the ship, we just don't have time to ever go there and do that stuff. So, and what's also cool about the Senses Spa, I'll show you on the map what I mean, is that the Senses Spa takes up almost the entire front portion, the forward front portion of the ship. So like I said, we're right here. We saw Senses Fitness, which actually takes you out to the shipside promenade, which we will go out to. But then Senses Spa goes all the way back, all the way to the forward, and then there's an outdoor space for the spa as well. So really cool to have all that space. It feels like they really took advantage of the space of the ship and made it all the way out to the forward. So let's quickly run out to the shipside promenade and go check that out, because I want to quickly take you where you can go on the promenade. So like I was saying, there is no all the way around the ship promenade. It starts on deck 4, works its way up to deck 5. You can go all the way around the front of the ship, all the way around to the other side, or you could take those stairs and take you up to deck 6 and take you to the very forward point of the ship. I do have video of that, so hopefully I do show you guys that, because of where it takes you. It's probably some of the coolest views, because I actually stood up there while we were leaving from Port Canaveral. It's also extremely windy up there while you're on the move from the ship. One of the things also you can see, look up there, there's the bridge. So that is a great spot. The ship promenade, like I said, this goes all the way around on deck 5 back to the other side where Sense Spa is before you go back down to deck 4. So the promenade can't really do laps like you could on the other one, so you really rely on yourself to come to the fitness center if you want to run, work out, any of that stuff, or you can go up to deck 12, which I've seen some people do, and they walk around those as well. So head back inside because I'm wearing a Spirit jersey and it's warm out here. Continue on with the tour. Alright, now we're going to move on from the forward elevators and continue down because now we're going to make our way back to Sarabi, the Periscope Pub, and the Triton Lounge. So again, like I was telling you, Sarabi is a 2-level lounge activity space. And what I was saying earlier is that they do have videos, that like footage that runs, because if you don't see the stage, they actually sometimes put the footage on there, or they put the games, what's going on up there as well. And I do love it because, again, once again, more space for you to charge your phones. And I have seen this packed. When I tell you packed, like, we came to watch Match Your Mate and there was only standing room left, and we were here 15 to 30 minutes before it started. So that was insane to me that took that much space for it. It's only 5 minutes closed. I know I could probably open and go in, but I know because we're still on a preview cruise, they are still working on a lot of stuff. So right over here behind us on the... So, if you go to the starboard side from Sarabi, you have the Triton Lounge. Now, the Triton Lounge is not a drink location. This is another heavily activated location spot. So you can see there's lots going on. Almost every hour there's something going on in this lounge. And so, it is themed towards the Little Mermaid and everything else with King Triton and everything. I have been in here a couple times, so I'll hopefully show that footage as well. Anywhere that I cannot go into, I will show you footage that I have from our time on the ship, so you guys can see what these spaces look like and everything else. Now, if you come over the middle part towards the port side, here is the Periscope Pub. You're all good. Periscope Pub. The Periscope Pub right here, this is going to be themed towards 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Again, a very crafted, beautiful pub based around the hit movie of 20,000 Leagues, and also related back to the ride at Walt Disney World. They've really taken the ride attractions and brought them on board the ship here on the Disney Treasure. It's actually wonderful. A lot of things going on in here. And again, we luckily have been in here a little bit, so I will show you the footage that is coming from this. But they call it the 718 Periscope Pub because 718 is the number of the project that the treasure was built at Meyer Wharf. Down this walkway right here. This walkway is going to lead us to the main spaces. Once again, more bathrooms. So if you continue down this walkway towards from the forward to the midship of the treasure, you have many more places to sit, and you're going to be having on the port side right here into the midship. You have Mickey's and mainsail, and this is going to be where a lot of your merchandise is going to be bought. This is going to be a lot of merchandise you're going to spend ungodly amount of money here. Because we did the exact same thing. From the Spirit jersey I'm wearing, to the ship model we got, to all the different pins, and if I'm good, I will show you all the stuff we ended up getting, so you get an idea of what is in here. I also will try to show you some of the footage from our time inside of Mickey's mainsail. Because right now they have a lot of stuff from the inaugural sailing. A lot of this will change over before December 21st to include stuff for the maiden voyage. But there are a lot of the main things, like the Disney Treasure, Spirit jersey. It's going to be the most consistent Spirit jersey they have on the ship. Now again, stuff may have stuff for the main voyage, but then you have basic things for the Disney Treasure by itself as well. And now we've made it back to the midship, to the Grand Hall, and there is nothing on this starboard side, because that is just more seating spaces. A lot of these little indents right here are places where the characters are going to meet. So yesterday we met Cat Adventure Minnie over here, we met Tiana here on the first day. There's plenty of places to meet the characters, and characters also just roam just for the fun of it. So it's really kind of like that Disneyland feel. Like I always said, Disneyland has always had the feel of characters just roam as they need. But it just tells you how much work they do into this. Now here's what I'm also going to tell you, it's pretty cool. There are 6 of these little lamps. On every single one of these lamps, it relates back to another ship in the cruise line fleet leading up to the treasure. So you get the Little Mermaid for the fantasy, Donald for the wonder, Minnie for the, I want to say it's the the Dream, Cinderella's slipper, for the Wish, Mickey right over there, for the Dream, for the Magic. And so they have all the ships represented on this statue, and I think it's great that they do that they incorporate everything, including with the ships as well. Continuing on from the Grand Hall of the Deck 5, we turn around, and here is where you're going to be able to come look at your pictures that you have. If you have any pictures or anything that you may have had during your time on the ship, you can come right here. You can scan your... Oh, the gallery is closed today, but you can come over here and check all that stuff out so you can see any of your pictures. You could buy pictures, you could download it, and all that stuff. And then behind it is the Disney Vacation Club space, where if you want to potentially join the Vacation Club, have questions about the Vacation Club, you can come right here and maybe even join the Vacation Club, because they do have vacation members only cruises for the Disney Cruise Line, but extremely hard to get into. We're coming into the Jade Cricket Cafe. The Jade Cricket Cafe is another one of these bars that is a coffee/bar area. So you can get your coffee here if you like. You can also get alcohol later on. Once again, as I will try to show you guys the full menu for the Jade Cricket Cafe, which is all themed towards Mulan and everything else. And what I do love in the thing, it says, "The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all," which was said by Mulan's dad. So it's a really cool space. I love the seating, and again, charging places for your phone and everything else. If you continue on to the right side of the ship, which is the starboard side, more Mickey's Mainsail. This goes all the way down to the elevator, so that's where that is. And then to the port side, you have shutters. This is where if you want to buy any pictures or set up anything, these are places you can come and talk to them. They'll set you up with being able to take pictures, buy whatever you want, or they do have spaces where you can come in and take photos, like behind a backdrop and everything else. So the portrait studio, and again they have these places to look at all your pictures all the way down the hallway right here. So if you are interested in being able to see any of the pictures that were taken by the team, by the crew members on the ship, you come over here and you do that right here. And it does say edge right here because you're kind of to the end of the hallway. But if you go to the port side, right over here, this is where you're going to have Plaza de Coco, the newest of the rotational dining locations. So like I said, port side, Mickey's and Mainsail starts here, kind of where Plaza de Coco is, and goes all the way down past the Grand Hall. So it tells you how big this shop is. And like I said, so much merchandise, so many great things, so many cool things. And the one thing they did sell out pretty quickly was the bronze statue, which was kind of surprised. Glad me and Kayla were not big about the bronze statue, and we just like our little ship models and our Spirit jersey. Well, I like my Spirit jersey. She likes her pens. But right past it, Plaza de Coco, the newest of the rotational dining. This is going to be your Mexican-themed food that they have here on the ship. Now, the only weird side is how far down this goes. So I'm not going to go all the way down there. But to get to it, it is at the very, 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 very aft of the ship. You can see how long the hallway is, all the way down there. It's a really cool hallway and everything else, but I will show you the footage from our time in Plaza de Coco, especially the night we had, because they had a beautiful show right in the middle. We had a really good view of it. Had Miguel, all the family, and everything else with the mariachi band playing and all that fun stuff. And it was a beautiful night, and the food was delicious. The only thing though is that they didn't have like traditional Mexican, like what you think Mexican, like tacos and stuff. They had more of a fine dining cuisine style to it. So that's where that is. So, but now we're done with Deck 5. Before we go though, I really want to show you this. So this is one of the pictures you could buy from the art location. This is what they call the Disney Treasure joining the Disney Cruise Line fleet. You can see the treasure following up. You got the Wish behind it. You got the Dream, Fantasy, and Magic and Wonder. But before too long, we're going to go from 6 to 8 ships by the end of next year, with the Destiny and the Adventure joining the fleet by the end of next year. So Cruise Line is ever growing, every faster, every single day. So Deck 5, we are done with that. Now, from Deck 6 through 10, it's nothing but staterooms. So we'll kind of go through what kind of each stateroom you can get. However, the only thing I do want to point out, because we're not going to go to all these rows. On deck 8, you can do laundry. So just be mindful of that if you do need to do laundry while you're on the ship. On deck 8, you have the Fairy Tale Fresh Laundry, where you can do that. Or you can pay to have your laundry done for you, which I think is kind of a waste in my mind, if you ask me. But that's just something to be mindful of, is that you can do that. So let's head on up to deck 11, because we're in the aft, aka the back of the ship. So on the Disney Treasure, there are 3 types of rooms, well, 4 technically 4, but 3 types of rooms. You have inside staterooms, which have no view to the outside world. You then have inside ocean view rooms, which have a porthole. Then you have verandas, and then concierge suites, and then the extra suites that are available. We'll talk about those here in a minute. To deck number 11, and on deck 11 is where you're going to be your, what they call buffet, but it's free-flowing dining service. So this is where you'll come if you don't want to sit down, and this is open for breakfast and lunch. This is not open all day, only from breakfast to lunch, and breakfast to lunch only have a certain time for it. So we're going to go in there, let's check out Marceline Market and all that stuff. Hey! So Marceline Market is going to be, which is different because on the other 4 ships, it was called Cabanas, but with the Wish, they changed it to Marceline Market, and it says cooking with character. This could be another one of those places you're going to want to be able to stop and look at everything, because there are a lot of hidden gems, there's a lot of hidden things you'll see, things you may miss, things you may not see. So you really got to stop and look at it all. Like, I love this. I want this as a print because of everything on it. This is so cool. As soon as you enter in, there is a coffee bar that you can go over and have some of your specialty coffees. Specialty coffees are going to cost extra. A regular black coffee is not going to cost you anything, but it is themed with the Mad Hatter right there, so you can also get your teas and everything else like that. So we're going to continue on. We're just going to quickly, just quick walkthrough of all the things you can get to eat, and anything I may notice, because I do remember I did see a lot of cool little things throughout this area. You can see you got your eggs, your bacon, your hash browns, your bacon, your turkey bacon, eggs Benedict. So make sure you stop and look at everything, because within a lot of these parts, like right there, there's Remy and everything. There's also stuff right there. And then somewhere there's a book that says anyone can cook. But you can see it's just a basic place to eat. They have plenty of other specialty food. Morning. Good morning. So, and this stuff does kind of change out throughout the day. If you're looking for your Mickey Waffles and everything, it's right here at the kid counter, where they do have all sorts of buttermilk, blueberry, and chocolate chip ones. And continue on all the way around. You can get your quick grab and go for your, from milks to yogurts to making your own yogurts. You grab toast, bagels, or any sort of other breads as you needed. Some parfaits, yogurts, and then your pastries, your donuts, anything of that nature, and then plenty of places to sit as well, including a small section outside. And then there are places you can make your own omelet right here on the back side of the market. So make sure if you want your omelets, make sure you come all the way to the very back, and they will make that for you back here. When you come to Marceline Market, make sure you stop and look at everything in the shops and everything, or in the little glass, because there is things to see. It is the same food on both sides when you get to the back, to the front, so just make sure that you do take your time to go all around to check what there is, because they always put the eggs and basic stuff at the very beginning. Right, so once you get to Marceline Market and you go to the right side of the ship, right as soon as you add to the right, you have Jumbo's Sweet Shop. This is a sweet shop that you could buy extra things. These are going to cost a little extra, so be mindful of that, but you can get specialty ice cream, specialty snacks, you can get treats, you could buy the stuff you could buy in the parks, all right here at Jumbo's Sweets, which is actually themed towards, if you could tell, from Zootopia. And the best one is you can actually see there's Nick Wilde, Judy Hopps enjoying a jumbo scoop of ice cream, and I do love the big donut. And then what's pretty cool, right behind it, they have a cool painting of Zootopia right behind it. So then if you come to the port side, you have Dory's Forget-Me-Nots. And these are just going to be your basic merchandise as well, but also things you may have forgotten, from sunglasses to sunscreen. It's kind of, as the joke says, the forget-me-nots, the things that you may have forgotten at home. So now we are going to finally make it out to the first of the open decks, right here to deck 11, and this is going to be where your first 2 pools are going to be located at. So It's also going to be where the funnel vision is located and where some of the quick grab and go areas are. So here you have the Minnie's pool. This pool is the bigger of the 6 pools on the main deck. Across the way, underneath the funnel vision, is the Mickey pool. That has not been open the entire time we've been on the cruise so far, so that is something to be mindful of, that it is the main stage pool, so they will have to close it. But unlike the other ones, where the pool's right in the middle and they have to close it at some point, these other pools could stay open just a little bit longer because they're able to not have to be closed, and you have space for people to stand. You have all standing up on deck 12 to 13 to be able to check all that out. So, funnel vision, where you watch your shows, or as I was watching last night, football games. And so we're going to continue on to the starboard side, because now we're going to quickly run through where the drink stations are for the ship. They are located midship, right next to where the funnel vision area is. And this is going to be your Coke products, your Cokes, your Sprites, water if you have a water bottle, your coffees, your decaf coffees, and your hot chocolate as well. So right along here, it's all the places you can get your drinks that you like, and these is open 24/7. So keep that in mind. And they do have cups you can get. Once you get past the drink station, you'll continue on, because now at the very forward part, you have Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods. Festival of Foods. There are 5 of these. You have Donald's Cantina. Donald's Cantina is where you can make burritos, tacos, or bowls. This is going to be your mini version of your Chipotle. You continue on around the corner, you have pizza pies with Daisy. As it says, this is pizza. I have said that the pizza here takes a little bit longer for it to be done. It is very fresh consistently, so be mindful of that. It is a very fresh food, it's very nice, it's very good. And then your condiments, probably my favorite thing, that themed. There's a thing towards like Runaway Railway style theming. On the very front, when you come out of the elevators, out of the forward elevators, you have Mickey's Smokestack Barbecue. And I will tell you, as a Texan, this barbecue is very, very good. And you continue around the corner to now the port side, or starboard side. You now have Goofy's Grill. Goofy's Grill, this is where you're going to get your burgers, your hot dogs, your bratwurst, and your crispy chicken tendies, and your fries. And then as you continue past Goofy's Grill, come up to one of the more popular locations, probably the most popular location on the ship, Minnie's Delights. This is where you can get your unlimited soft serve. Now in the past, the soft serve locations have been open a lot longer. However, this is no longer self-serve like it was on the first 4 ships. They now have to make it where they have to serve you, and that's perfectly fine. And then once you get past it, you have the Lookout, and this is one of the bars here on deck 11. So, and then once you get past it, more drink stations. So there are drink stations on both sides of the ship. So it's something to keep in mind, that there are places on both sides to get your drinks. Also something I forgot to mention, on the very forward, there are more of the staterooms. Now those I think are the concierge staterooms. Those are the super expensive staterooms that also will have places to have like a concierge lounge and everything else that comes with that. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to come to the midship to walk up. So there are 5 pools in this location right here. So you have the Minnie's pool right here. You then have the Pluto's pool right here. Pluto and Daisy's pool. These are like where you put your feet in, you could sit and watch. And so they're not actual pools. They're more like waiting, where you put your feet and sit and enjoy some water without getting soaking wet. And then now that you're up to deck number 12, you have the Goofy's pool. This is a normal full-size pool. And across the way, you have the Donald's pool, another full-size pool as well. Alright, we're going to continue on down deck 12. Because deck 12, this is where you're located. This is going to be more of your seating, more of your locations. You're going to come up to the splash pad and everything else. So we are in the midship, because I want to work my way to the aft. But this is the area where people actually tend to walk, run, and stuff like that, because you have this open space to go all the way around this part of the deck. It's only a partial part, but it's whatever. What I do love also is you can walk across the front part of the funnel vision right there. But we are going to continue on, working our way down. Here is going to be one of your best locations to take a picture in front of the famous Mickey and Toothpaste Disney Cruise Line logo. So, but the downside is how much bigger these are, so it's much harder to get really good photos in front of it. You almost have to be standing there and have someone here taking your photo, and you have to do it vertically, or, as I've been doing almost on this entire trip, 0.5s. But now we are now we're in front of the first funnel as we head towards the forward of the ship. And here is going to be your Toy Story splash pad. So this is going to be for your little ones who can't quite go in the regular pools. But this is a cool, I do love the splash pad. It is so stinking adorable. It's actually called Splash Zone. And this is for children who are, this facility is for children up to 6 years old. And then to the right of it, they do have the Slidosaurus Rex. So the little yellow slide that we saw, that is where you can come have that. And it's just a little tiny slide. It's just a little small slide that you can go to and slide down. And then on deck 12, once again, once you enter through those doors, that is where you have more of your staterooms, and these are going to be your concierge staterooms as well. And I do have to correct myself, I did say 11 was concierge staterooms. Concierge staterooms aren't until deck 12, so 11 are normal staterooms that you probably could have if you do get a room on the Disney Treasure. And I'm going to double check myself before I say anything else. Yep, 11 is just regular staterooms. So 12, 13 are staterooms, and all the way to the very front, they do have the concierge lounge, which of course I cannot go into, so that's fine. But we're not going to work our way towards the back because there's some stuff towards the back of the ship. Also, right next to the Slidosaurus Rex, you do have Trixie's Falls. Now, what's going to end up happening, and this is how I'm just going to do it because it's how it's designed. The ship almost kind of like does a little valley to the middle and then up towards the aft. We're going to go to the aft. We're going to do everything on the aft from 12 to 13 to even 14. Then I'm going to come back to the forward and we're going to do stuff from 12, 13 to 14 as well. So just kind of bear with me because the way that this is designed is a lot different than how I expect the rest of it to be designed. So we're going to head to the aft, do 12, 13, 14, so we revive the Hero Zone, Paulo, Enchante, and the Rose. And then where the Cove Cafe, Bar, and the adult only area for pools are. And then we'll go to the forward, show you the rest of that, and then we'll be done with the Disney Treasure ship tour. It's been taking me a while to get all the way around, but shows you everything that goes on. Right, so now you're up to deck 12 of the aft. So on the port side, this is where the Rose, Paulo Steakhouse, and Enchante. So Paulo has been on every single ship that the Disney Cruise Line has created. However, this time they've taken it and make it into a steakhouse flair with the Italian style they're used to. You then have the Rose, which is based around Beauty and the Beast, and then Enchante is another one of so these three restaurants are going to be your extra specialty dining locations. So this is where you're going to have to pay extra for them. So these are not part of your rotational dining, and you have to find time to do it. So most people love to do Paulo brunch, and everyone craves about Paulo brunch. We did have Paulo at one point. However, we wanted to do excursions instead, and we really have enjoyed the food. Now, if we come back to the Treasure, the night that we're at World of Marvel, maybe a night we do Paulo instead. So, Rose Lounge. I thought the Rose was another restaurant, but the Rose actually is not another restaurant. This is a lounge space that kind of takes you right up to where Paulo and Enchante is. And as you can see, this is all themed around Beauty and the Beast. And it's really, really, really pretty, like walking in. I do love how they have the Rose at the very front. I will tell you that this is a very, very fancy lounge. When me and Kayla walked in here, because we were just kind of walking around, we noticed how fancy everyone was dressed, and we were a little underdressed, because this also is the area where you go into Paulo and Enchante. Like, I'm literally wearing shorts and a Spirit jersey, and I feel like everyone that was in there was kind of judging us. But at the very back of the lounge is where you check in for Paulo and Enchante, but I'm really glad Kayla did take me in here because I would have never figured out that this was in here, and so I really am glad she did show me this, and I really like it a lot, especially the mosaic on the back there, because it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Something to keep in mind, and you have to reserve those pretty early because Paulo fills up very, very quickly, so keep that in mind. And now we're going to go to the starboard side, because here on the starboard side, this is where your Vibe, the Hideaway, and the Hero Zone are. The Vibe is going to be your teenage hangout spot. is going to be for the teenagers and everything else for them to hang out and enjoy themselves with video games, with board games, activities and stuff. And then you do have the Hero Zone. The Hero Zone replaces Goofy Sports area on all of the other ships as well. And in here, they can have multiple things. Like the other day I came in here, they had the games playing for the NFL games. In here, they can have basketball going on. And then they also can have the Incredicourse Challenge, which are giant inflatables they put up in here. And you can actually race through the course, and if you're like me, you end up injuring your right arm and your right shoulder, and you feel it the rest of the time. And then through that side, there is places to play ping pong. Up on the second level, you can play foosball, air hockey, and just hang out and sit. So this is a great utilization of space for your sports. It got rid of, like I said, the goofy space on all the other ones, and the goals do come down, and I do love the netting. So like right now, I can stand over here and not be worried about being hit by a basketball or something. And they do have the giant screen, and like I said, this is where we was watching the NFL games the other day. And so that is deck 12 aft. We are now going to make our way up to deck 13 on the aft as well. So if there are rough seas, they may have to close it down early. Deck 12 of the aft, done. Heading up to deck 13 of the aft. Deck 13 on the port side, right outside of here. This is going to be where you have the AquaMouse. The AquaMouse is the roller coaster, water coaster here at sea. And this is an extremely fun ride. So you have all the way up the lift hill right there is the story you're going to be seeing. For us, it was either the Swiss or the Golden Egg. You'll know what it is based on the very front over here, because it'll tell you what story you're going to hear. So you go all the way up the hill, you go through the front funnel, and then through the rest of the slide before making it all the way back down to here. And like I said yesterday, I got to ride it, and it is so much fun. And I do enjoy it a lot. I think it's done really, really well. And even if this line is fully full, it's only about a 20-minute wait, so not horrible. I think when we did the Aqueduct on the Dream, we waited a long time for it. For guests 18 and up. What's pretty cool is you have all the space where you can see where the AquaMouse does go over you. But this will be the adult-only area where you'll be able to relax. No kids should be coming up here. And we'll work our way down to the back to see the Cove Bar and the Cove Cafe. Continuing on, we came out of the elevators right there, right next to those little ports in the funnel. There is a hot tub right there. Not many hot tubs on this ship as there are on other ships. So it's kind of frustrating because you just don't have very many places. We're going to continue on towards the back because here's where you're going to have the Cove Bar, Cove Cafe, and the Quiet Cove Pool. Now, the entire sailing, these pools have not been open whatsoever. I don't know if that's just because they're not open until the maiden voyage or something is up with them, so they haven't been able to open them up the entire time. But I will still show you to them, so if you ever do come. But these are plenty of places to come, relax, sit, enjoy yourself. It's what they call the Quiet Cove Bench Pool. So these have been closed the entire time we've been on the ship. So right here you got the pools, and you get to look out the back, and I think it's really cool. Now, I don't know if maybe it's just because of how rough the seas have been, but as it says, it's a bench. And same thing here, you got a bench you can sit on and watch where we've been. Right behind it, Cove Bar, and again, I'll show you the menu for that as needed, so you can know what's at the Cove Bar. And then we're going to keep going down to the port side to the Cove Cafe. The only way to get to the Cove Cafe is you have to walk all the way around through the aft on the back of the ship, past the bar to get to the cafe, which is going to be right over here. And this place is hopping this morning. I tell you, the Cove Cafe, one of the more popular places. It's themed towards Moana and everything else. Hopefully I do have footage of it so I can show you guys later. I don't want to go in there because it's very busy, and I don't want to really bother a lot of people. As cool as there is more seating up towards deck 14, so this ship goes all the way up to 14 total decks. You can come up here. Like I said, more seating to be able to have. So keep that in mind if you come to the Quiet Bar back section of the adult only. Take these little stairs to the side of the Cove Bar, and you'll be able to go up to deck number 14 to do some more relaxing. Alright, we are completely done with the aft of the ship. And to finish off the tour, head to the forward, finish up with that, and then we will have completed the entire tour of the brand new, beautiful Disney Treasure cruise line. So let's finish on up at the front. I did forget about Wheezy's Freezy, I think that's what they call it. It's another one of the alcoholic, like one of the other bars, but it's all going to be all your frozen alcoholic drinks as well. Now I can tell you, the forward with decks 12 through 13/14 will be very quick. So let's get those real quickly. I also do want to mention, in the forward funnel is the biggest concierge suite they've ever created on this ship and the Wish. On this ship, it is the Tomorrow Suite. It's a 2-story concierge suite that you can go into. Hopefully I have pictures of it. And it is right in those 2 windows right there. And it's themed towards Spaceship Earth almost. So it's kind of cool. I do need to find pictures of that, if there are any, because not as many pictures came out from the stuff that I hoped for. So, but into we're actually on 13. You're on deck 12. So 13 is going to be more of your concierge suites. This is where your concierge sun deck is going to be. And then instead of in the past having the Walt and Roy suite, they have the Raja and Sasha suite. So these are going to be your concierge suites. These are going to be your bigger suites. Give you more stuff. You have, usually they are much bigger, more like 1 bedroom as well. So there's that. Now stairs to 13. To deck 14, let's bunch off. But you can see here's stateroom 1400, the concierge suite. So you have currents, which is on the outside, so we'll go out there. And this is going to be the Chippendale pool. There are no staterooms on this level. So deck 14 right here, you're going to have currents, one of the other bars here at the forward of the ship. Once again, try to get you all of the menus for these so you guys can see what they do have. If there's anything specialty towards each one. Currents has been on every one of the ships as I know of since they started. It's also the smoking section right up here. So if you're looking to smoke, it's going to be on 14 near currents. The very last thing it's going to be up here is the Chippendales pool and the beautiful new horn for the Disney Treasure. I don't think, also this has been another pool that's not been open the entire time on our sailing so far. But it's just another place you can hang out, relax, right here at the front of the, right at the front. So again, not been open, and this is also space you can go and stand at the very front of the ship to see where we're going as well. And this is the, underneath, it actually perks up perfectly. There's the concierge sun deck. Ooh, one of the panels actually broke already. That's hilarious. And that now finishes up with everything on the Disney Treasure. And with that, we have now completed our entire tour of the brand new Disney Treasure, the newest flagship ship of the Disney Cruise Line fleet. It's an amazing ship. It's beautiful. It takes some time to find everything. So really give yourself the first couple days because this is going to be on the 7-night sailings. So thank you guys for coming along with us. If you enjoyed it, please let us know down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so, and comment down below some questions you have, and I'll answer those for you. But with all that being said, as I do head on off to enjoy another day aboard the Treasure, I will see y'all next time.